the amendment to the bylaws regarding membership. Article is Article 7B of the bylaws establishes a membership committee which maintains membership records. The reason this is on is because in the bylaws it says membership, but as noted, we don't have members. We have stakeholders. And we don't keep membership records because technically everyone who is a stakeholder in the Granada Hills South Council area, whether you live here, rent, homeowner, business owner, or just somebody who comes in and out of the area, you're a stakeholder. So what we want to do is amend the bylaws to remove that term membership from our bylaws. And according to our bylaws, there are several areas. One, we want to eliminate the membership committee from bylaws and rules. By removing that, it's a dubious term. We've never really had a membership committee as such. Let me get down here. And as a matter of fact, the duties that the membership committee would normally hold are actually being fulfilled by the secretary. So that would be page 9 of our bylaws. Section B, and what we want to do is we want to strike that section, and then on page 10, it'll just B will be other committees in standing and what their in their standing rules. So, is there any discussion on this issue?
I think we need a motion before we discuss.
Okay.
I so move and strike that section.
I second that.
Would you take the formal minutes and then go, although we don't keep minutes, but I just want to know who moved, who seconded, and so forth? I appreciate that.
To make for the motion, I'd like to have a first shot at the session.
You may.
Thank you. This goes back, the last action we took on this was in 2009, just as Jim was outgoing and I was incoming as president. And I can recall quite distinctly the discussion on this. And it was the consensus, although I don't know that we actually took a vote, we'd have to go back in the minutes, but we actually had a discussion on whether or not to delete this section at the time. And we simply decided that the membership committee would consist of one person, and that would be the secretary. Time the secretary includes yesterday.
Yeah, I recall that.
And he was amenable to that, so we did not strike it. But as time has progressed, I think that it's clear that the section is obsolete and that the duties of the secretary encompass anything that would require keeping records of, and as you said in your preamble, we don't actually have members, we have stakeholders, so to the extent we have information on the stakeholders that we get through outreach events, those are accessible to us in the database, and I think that's really the only thing in that section that is pertinent to our current day operations. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Anyone else? Ms. Guzman?
I can understand your point regarding membership. We don't have membership, we have stakeholders. two things. One, the membership committee is in the bylaws and also in that main table of contents that was revised in 2010 and is developed into this. And the membership committee is coming in from Dunn, having us put that in our bylaws.
No, it didn't come from Dunn. We wrote it in. It was one of our first drafts of the bylaws and rules. As a matter of fact, Dave, I think, was
Part of our original bylaws in 2006.
and it never got struck.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. If you just change membership to stakeholders, then it would be appropriate. But my point is you said that the secretary is responsible for keeping those records, and that's not in the duties for the secretary in the bylaws. And for right now, to the best of my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, the only custodian of our email database for the neighborhood council is the webmaster. And if he's the only one that is the custodian for the stakeholder email database, then that's probably not good, because this neighborhood council should probably have a control over the stakeholder database, because that stakeholder database is critical to sending out announcements. I just don't see, if you strike it, then who is responsible for maintaining the stakeholder database, email database?
That currently is our secretary.
Mm-hmm. But it's not his duty.
We can always, when you change one thing in your bylaws, you're probably apt to have to change something else along those lines at another meeting. It's not agendized, so we can't do anything about that, but it's something we can look into. But for the time being, membership, we don't have even a committee. We don't have a chair. It doesn't exist. It only exists on paper.
What I'm saying is the idea of it is a good idea and should not be stricken just because it hasn't been done or wasn't applied. What I'm saying is that if you strike it, then you probably need to do some kind of amendment saying that the I know. Again, and this is why we're discussing it, is because if we strike it there, then we need to also add on to it that it goes into the responsibility of the secretary. Now, the good news is, Anthony, we voted at the last meeting to get you some money to help keep records.
Well, I saw that.
So-
you see, I'm gonna
So hopefully we'll be able to have the person that we're paying
Actually,
take care of keeping
we're
it.
not going after money for him. It just comes out of our budget. Yes.
Yeah, I think Mr. Kuzman raises a good point in that if it isn't specifically spelled out, perhaps we need to spell it out. There's never been a problem with accessing the database through the webmaster. Anytime we need information, he's accessible. But it wouldn't hurt to spell that out. So I would suggest that if we strike this language, and in the subsequent bylaws committee meeting, we put on the agenda to add language that would make clear that the secretary should have access and control of that database.
Oh, I agree. And like I said, it can be done at another meeting. Anytime you make any alterations to any document, chances are it's going to trigger another meeting that deals with that specific item. And so, but in the meantime, is there anything else?
Yeah, I just want to ask this question, and maybe you have that information in your bylaws as well. Do you have a phrase in the bylaws that the committee can, or a committee member or board member can be assigned any other duties as a sub? So you may have that in there for the committee or
The president has that discretion to assign members to certain committees, including chairs, but that can be done at